Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. We've got quite a bit of crypto news to talk about today and some whale alerts, which I'll cover the whale alerts at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the latest news. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is now sitting at 29, so we are in the fear territory. Bitcoin's price has dropped down a little bit. It's sitting at $76,000, which is pretty wild when you think about it, because if you go back just a couple years ago and you say Bitcoin is $76,000, people would be ecstatic. They'd be overjoyed. But let's just be real. Right now, people are thinking that this is pulled back. It might end up pulling back even more. And people are wondering if it's going to end up hitting that six figures again. And up next, the first XRP ATM has been spotted at the Permissionless Conference. Look at this, guys. Physical XRP access is now a real thing. Walk up, insert cash, walk away with XRP. Mainstream onboarding just took a giant leap forward. This is how mass adoption starts, not just on screens, but in the real world. That's pretty cool. Bitcoin ATMs have been around for a hot minute, but they've also been very popular. So seeing something like that for XRP, I think is quite exciting. And Crypto Rover points this out, $400 billion wiped out from US stocks in just 40 minutes. Ouch. Also pointing out, this is not good. The worst combination just showed up in US data. PCE at 3.5% and core at 3.2% show inflation is still elevated. GDP at 2% shows growth is already slowing. That means the economy is losing momentum while prices stay high. This is exactly the setup the Fed does not want. It increases the risk of higher rates for longer or even a rate hike, which is very bearish for risk assets. The New York Stock Exchange has declared XRP as a digital commodity. Japan confirms it has once again intervened in the currency market and conducted a yen buying operation. The United States first quarter GDP that came in at 2%. The expectations were actually at 2.2%, so that underperformed there. XRP Ledger on-chain transfers surge 5 times. Ripple partners with KBank to deploy scalable digital asset wallet infrastructure through Ripple custody. And as I mentioned with Japan, here's a little bit more information. Japan now has higher borrowing costs than the world's third largest economy. Their 10-year government bond yield just hit an all-time high, the highest level in 30 years at 2.52%. XRP now live for spot trading on Rakuten Wallet. Looks like that's over in Japan there. Ripple is opening its new Middle East and Africa regional headquarters in the DIFC 6 years after our first Dubai office. The Middle East is now one of our most significant markets globally, and demand for regulated blockchain infrastructure continues to grow. First blockchain payments provider licensed by the DFSA, RLUSD recognized as an approved crypto token in the DIFC. New headquarters creates capacity to double their regional team. And earlier, BlackRock ETF has sold $54.7 million in Bitcoin. XRP spot ETFs are set to post their strongest monthly inflows since December of 2025, pulling in $83.9 million so far in April. I mean, so far, the month is over. Let's be real. XRP is now inside New York Stock Exchange's commodity trust framework. That's essentially what I was talking about earlier. And going over the whale alerts, we have $254.3 million in Ethereum that went to Coinbase, $250 million in USDC that was minted at the USDC Treasury, $115.4 million in Bitcoin that went to an unknown wallet. We have $113.4 million in Bitcoin that went to Kraken, $126.3 million in Ethereum to an unknown wallet, $288.6 million in Bitcoin to Coinbase Institutional, $700 million in USDT that went to the Tether treasury. Basically $1 billion in USDT that was minted at the Tether treasury. $700 million in USDT that went to HTX. And then we have $300 million in USDT that went to an unknown wallet. $300 million in USDT to the Tether treasury. $300 million USDT that went to HTX from the Tether treasury. And $500 million in USDT that went to an unknown wallet. $90.9 million in Bitcoin to Kraken. And almost there, $250 million in USDC minted at the USDC treasury. And just taking a look here, XRP, it's still dropping. We had 3 days of closure in the red, 2 days forming a trend, potentially a strong trend. The volume did kick up a little bit more here yesterday. We've been seeing it pretty lackluster there 4 days in a row. And then yesterday just showed signs going back to volume comparable to April 19th. Almost in the territory of April 17th, April 16th. You guys can see those are pretty big candles right there. And at one point this did try to rise up to $1.38. Since then it has pulled back. It's sitting at about $1.36 right now. And that's what I got for you guys in today's video. So if you're new, feel free to hit subscribe. Go check me out over on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. Just one follower away from hitting 60 there. And if you would like to show any extra support for me and my channel, I do appreciate it. You can become a YouTube member, or you can find me over on Patreon. I'm Crypto Atlas there. Thank you guys. Be safe. God bless. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.